everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Yes, you are joined, as always, by your host, Trent the Alton, or some of you might know me is Tricky, and we're up to episode 143, and we're going to be reviewing the round 3 of the AFL season, 2025 season. Had some things go on during this, some surprising results, as it was last week. It's been an interesting start to the season. Just a quick run through what we do. So we're going to go over each game, and then we're going to rank each club on a tier list. Which quickly go over the tier list rankings again. If this is your first time watching this season, I've done it for the other round since the start of the season, but if this is your first time tuning in, I'll give you a rundown what my rankings on my tier list are. So the rankings on the tier list are excellent, contenders, decent, disappointing, and 5 a.m. at St Kilda Beach, which means you're at the bottom of the bottom. Then we also, during it, we have a voice message from a fan, which I'm going to have to fast forward it up. He's advised, so stay tuned for that one. A passionate Melbourne supporter has sent in a voice message. And we'll quickly go over the tipping and the Supercoach competitions. But without further ado, let's get into reviewing the round 3 action of the AFL footy. Starting off with Thursday night, we had Essendon v Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. And it was the Bombers getting the job done over Port Adelaide. I'm pretty sure I tipped Port Adelaide. Yeah, I did, so I got that one wrong. Essendon getting the job done by 12 points. Multiple goal kickers for them. They had Caddy and Draper, who's proven himself as a person who can stay as a tall forward, while also having Nick Bryan playing a bit more in the ruck. So obviously they got Todd Goldstein on the list, so what I'm trying to say is now Draper looks like he's developed a bit more forward craft. He's still a good ruckman, but Nick Bryan, I think, is a really good ruckman, but doesn't have the capability of going forward, where Draper now looks like he has, which is really good. He kicked the 2. As for Port Adelaide, Georgiadis and Burn Jones both kicked 2. Merritt continues his magnificent form to start the season with 34. Dersma was good off a wing with 29, going at 83% efficiency and 10 score enrollments. Durham was also huge with 28, 5 clearances, 2 goal assists, and 12 score enrollments. For Port Adelaide, Ollie Wines can definitely hold his head high. He had 31, a goal, 5 clearances. Christian Moraz in his first season was really good, 27, going at 85% efficiency. Burgoyne had 27, going at 96% efficiency, and 10 marks at 8 cents. Bergman also had 26 with 10 marks and 8 intercepts. Excuse me. Excuse me. So what was it? We mentioned Merritt continued his form. We mentioned Sam Draper as a forward. Mitch Georgiadis looked to rip the game apart in the first quarter. With Ben Mackay was playing on him, they quickly changed that to Jordan Ridley, I believe. Went to him. So my voice still, it's kind of recovered, but not at definitely full capacity as of yet. So he looked to rip the game. He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter and was just clunking everything. Looked to rip it apart, but then he was kept quiet, only kicking the 2 after that. Tom Cochrane, what a story this was. Debut. Becomes the first player to debut in the AFL with autism. So, Tourette's, sorry. I've written autism down here, but I know I meant with Tourette's, which is a magnificent story. Came on as the sub, 2 disposals and 2 marks. He came on as a sub in the last, while Saad Al-Hawaii, I don't want to say his name, is debuted for the Bombers, also as the sub. Was overlooked in the draft, struggled to get a game in VFL for Werribee, went to the Northern Bullhands and picked up by Essendon in the 2024 mid-season draft. Came on the last quarter, had 7 disposals and 2 score onwards. As I mentioned, coming as a sub in the last, and just looks like he's a real tuck and run player. And that was a great moment where he tucked it on his arm, got a handball, got it back, and then kicked that one over to Kako, who picked it up magnificently. But I've said this before, but I've got a problem with debutants starting the game as a sub. I just don't like the look of it. If you're going to debut someone, debut them properly and have them experience the whole full game impact and full game moment, I should say. The full game moment of being out there. Because coming on the sub, I get it, but there's someone else you can use as a sub. Let someone's debut game be a full game. Experience the moment, because it's a moment they're going to live forever. That's going to live with them forever. So let's not have them play a quarter in their debut game. Let's have them play the 4 quarters in a full game and start them on the ground. So that's my one gripe, and I've been strong on that for the past 2 seasons. So that were my talking points for there. Now the rankings. I'm going to go with Essendon. I'm not going to go excellent, but I'm going to go contenders. Just off that performance, they looked really well. Obviously, beating Port Adelaide, who were a prelim finalist last year. I don't think there's anywhere lower you can put them. Whereas Port Adelaide, I'm going to have to go disappointing. Now we move over to Friday night, and it's Carlton v the Bulldogs, and Carlton again go down as they are now 0-3, losing to Western Bulldogs 11-9-75 to 12-11-83. Brodie Kemp, it was a shining light for Carlton, though, proving his stay up forward without the likes of Harry Mackay in the side. He kicked 5, Curnow kicked 3, and they swing the Magnets around and chucked Lewis Young up forward as well. He kicked 2. As for the Bulldogs, O'Donnell, Darcy, and Kennedy both kicked the 2. For Carlton, De Koning, he got equal with best on ground votes from the coaches. Got equal top score coaches votes alongside Liberatore. He had 28 to go on with 29. He had 7 clearances, 6 marks, and 2 goal assists. Hewitt had 27 to go on with 8 clearances and 9 tackles. Chera, 27 to go on with 7 clearances. Walsh at 26 with 5 clearances. As for the Western Bulldogs, Sam Davison, now hasn't he been a pickup? We'll touch on him in a second. 31 disposals, 81% efficiency, 10 marks, 7 score on, 606 metres gained, just playing that wing roll / high half forward. Tom Liberatore, as I mentioned, was equal with De Koning for the maximum coaches votes for the game. They both got 8. He had 30 to go on the goal, 10 tackles, 10 tackles, 5 clearances, and 7 score elements. Well, Bailey Williams off that wing had 26, going at 85% efficiency. We mentioned Carlton goes 0-3, but what does this mean for Michael Voss and Carlton? I don't know how much longer SEN can listen to Carlton fans whinging. Does Voss last the season? I know it's a big call, but with the list that Carlton got, they should not be 0-3. They should be contending in the finals in the top 4 bracket of teams. There's no reason why they should be contending. I know it's only early, but they shouldn't be 0-3. What does this mean for Michael Voss? Tom De Koning's putting his back up against the wall every week and just dominating. But the only thing I'll question is their midfield maybe 2-1 pace? I don't know what they could possibly do about that. I know if Elijah Hollands was playing, he'd be one I'd be looking at introducing for a bit of flair, maybe possibly inside. But other than that, I think that they're possibly one pace. Matt Kennedy was someone they would love to have in there because he showed up against his old side with 22 disposals, 2 goals and 9 clearance. But I'm just thinking maybe possibly they're a bit one pace. Maybe they look at, I know Ollie Holland's playing a bit of half-back. Maybe put Ollie Hollands in the middle for centre bounces sometimes. I think they just need a change of pace of running speed through there. Let me know what you think about that. As I mentioned, mature age draftee Sam Davison was absolutely phenomenal. What a pickup he has been for the Western Bulldogs. Mature age pick, as I mentioned, 24 years old, was picked up from the Richmond VFL, was studying medicine, so he's a very smart man as well, but picked up for the Richmond VFL, and they found someone in there for sure, playing off that wing and half forward. As I mentioned, 31 disposals is a great game for him. Tom Liberatore leads by example again. At the absence of Marcus Bontempelli, Tom Liberatore has stood up in a big way. He's more known as that quiet person who just goes about his business, but I think he's showing a different side of him now, a leadership side of role of him. He's probably a bit too late in his career to captain, but I'm now seeing leadership and captaincy traits in Liberatore that I never thought I would never have seen before, and it's really refreshing to see. And what I love about that, without Bontempelli, he's still hitting the scoreboard now, being that leader, leading by example, and hitting the scoreboard. You don't normally see Liberatore hit the scoreboard, but this is 2 games in a row now where he's hit the scoreboard, so it's really good to see. We mentioned Matt Kennedy. Western Bulldogs, if they play like that and with the list they've got out, I think they are contenders after that performance. And Carlton, it's not quite 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. I'm just going to go disappointing for now. Melbourne v Gold Coast. Now, Gold Coast absolutely demolished Melbourne by 58 points, 8-14-62, defeated by 18-12, 120, 58 points. Sharp kicked 2 for Melbourne. As for the Gold Coast Suns, King kicked 4. Miller playing more half forward role, kicked 3, was really good. Graham kicked 2. Humphrey and was one of the single goal kickers. As for disposals, Oliver had 31, 5 clearances and 6 tackles. Langdon had 29. Langford looked really good playing a full game in the midfield for in his first season. 26, a goal, 6 clearances, 2 goal assists and 10 score runs. I thought he was one of their better players on the ground. Bowie also had 26 at 88% efficiency and 12 intercepts. While I said he was one of their better players on the ground, without a doubt, the best player on the ground was Matt Rowell. 36 disposals, 13 clearances, 7 tackles, 8 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, and 9 score runs. Just absolutely dominated. I'm loving seeing this side of Matt Rowell. We've seen how much of a bully he is, but now he's showing, look, hey, I can get my own ball too. I can get some easy ball, and he's getting it now and just absolutely dominating. Alongside his skipper, Noah Anderson, had 35 as well, with a goal and 10 score involvements. John Noble was exceptional off the half-back line. One, as a Collingwood supporter, I didn't like losing, and he's shown us why. With 29 going at 90% efficiency, kicked a goal, 8 marks, 6 rebound 50s, 7 score onwards, and 552 metres game. And Sam Flanders is in return back. Obviously not needed on the half-back line anymore with the pickups of Daniel Rioli and John Noble. So he can play a bit more midfield and half-forward role. It had 25 disposals to go along with a goal and 6 clearances. Now, I'll start with a voice message from a fan. I'm going to have to chuck the headphones on for this. Now, I have been told to play this at 1.5 speed, as it does go for a while. So let me just get that one up for you now. And this will be from one of our ex-co-hosts, Dylan McMahon, as we put this at 1.5 speed. Actually, that's my bad. I'm not connected to the Bluetooth. Let me just fix that real quick. It's just a quick fix. Okay, now we're connected. Bear with me 1 second. Rodecaster Pro connected.
Whatever you can call me. On Up the Guff podcast.
All right.
Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you hear this.
Let's see what he's got to say.
Up the Guff listeners and enjoyers. My name is
It's a long
Dylan,
one, so bear with us.
and I am a previous host,
Yes, you
spectator, whatever you can call me, on Up the Guff podcast a few years ago. And I'm coming back on today with a message to my fellow Melbourne supporters. I am myself a very passionate Melbourne supporter, as many of you may know.
Let him have a deal.
And I have quite frankly had enough of
tell 'em.
our fans, more so our fans than the club. And these are going to be my reasons why. Number one, it's round 3. This is just not just a Melbourne. This could be applied to any teams who are struggling. It's round 3. Look what the Lions did last year. They lost 3. Doesn't matter how much and who to. They lost 3 in a row. Teams that lose 3 in a row. I'm not sure how much. I'm pretty sure they lost a few more. Anyways, it's 3-0. We should not be angry at that, especially with round 1, where we debuted 5 new players just in that round.
Be angry at the way you're playing.
And we had a few shining stars, and we've got a few still playing in our team. No one else has done that this year. No one debuts that many players. We've obviously got the highest of the year, which I'm very stoked about. And especially we've got a few A-graders coming back in. We shouldn't be angry. And the supporters who are leaving before the siren goes, I understand if you've got families, I understand if it's a long travel, but not everyone I saw the last 2 weeks are leaving. Not everyone has those reasons. They've left because they're lazy and sick of it. We should not be sick of it. 3 bloody rounds. I myself stayed. Maybe I left a little bit earlier than the North game. That's because the trains were fucked. But that's a reason. That's a valid reason. And I've seen videos of supporters abusing Melbourne over the fence. We lost to North. They played very well. Congrats. Conceded. We'll fucking cop that. North were a good team. Not on a good day. We lost to the should-be premiers for the year.
You were calm, I thought.
In GWS. We should have beaten them. But we don't dwell. And round 3 was a pretty disappointing performance. considering what's happened in the last game at North, and considering that we're not full strength with all our players and everything's going on. However, this is my biggest bone to pick.
Here we go.
Supporters who blame the coach single-handedly. Now, I've seen the backlash, I've seen the memes, I've seen the shit posting coming from the family, I've seen it all. Absolutely disgraceful. I am pissed off with my fellow quote-unquote supporters who go and post that on social media and comment. It's just disgusting. I can't believe it. At the end of the day, he's a human being, and it's not just the coach's fault. There's more fucking players. What does he want to do? Go out and fucking play it for themselves. The admin, everything. There's more than fucking one in the coach's box. People need to understand how footy clubs work. People who make these comments don't know how things work, how footy clubs work. No one knows. That's why they make uneducated opinions. No one understands until they fucking are in the position. Anyways, all in all, I'd like to see a better performance from us Melbourne fans and rally behind our players.
We're the players.
Because we are not.
Give it to the players.
That bad.
Come on.
We are good supporters.
Come on, give it to them.
Up on the fucking attendance, but thank you, Tricky, for the timeline. Please watch this on point 5. And I will be back with a next week voice tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. I can take the headphones off now. Strong, very strong from Dill. Not the avenue I thought he was going to be going down. As you can hear, I set it by 1.5. I'll just send him a message back now. So, yeah, he said, Saturday night, he messaged me, actually, and goes, when are you recording the pod? And then I said, and he goes, I'll see you then. I was like, sweet. Now, things have just got in the way, but he's like, he goes, because I've got plenty of stuff to say. He goes, I've still got stuff to say, but I can't quite make it, so I'll send you the voice message. Now, Dill, I respect your opinion. I respect anyone's opinion that messages in. But in my opinion, let's phrase it this way. I don't agree with attacking the coach and going at it from a family point of view. That's disgraceful. That's disgusting. To attacking their character. What you can do, you can attack the way he coaches. That, I think, is all fair game. But going out and attacking his family, like you said, fucking disgraceful. Like, let's just put it there. That's disgraceful, but you can attack the way he coaches because there is no way you should be going down to the Gold Coast by 58 points. There's no way you should be losing to North Melbourne by, 40, 50 points. There's a couple of players there, just don't know. I thought Petrarca was back. His body language on the weekend wasn't amazing. And I'm just sitting there wondering, is it because of Simon Goodwin and how long can they, as a club, not necessarily hating on Simon Goodwin, but as a club, how long can they sit here and go, right, this is the right way to go, or maybe we need to go in another direction. Not on a negative note, but maybe another direction, another voice. He has been there for a while. Sometimes players need a new voice, and by the looks of it, I think some of those players need a new voice in their ears. So that's just my point of view on that. I respect your opinion, Dill. Thank you for sending in your voice message, and I look forward to your to hearing you again next week. We mentioned Matt Rowell dominates. Took Miller, played that half-forward role really well. 23 disposals. Let's go along with 3 goals. And first-round pick, Xavier Lindsay, was helped off the ground after hurting his knee in the opening minutes, which was absolutely shocking to see because he's one of those young ones that Dylan mentioned who started off really, really well. I personally brought him into my Supercoach team because he's been doing really well, averaging over 80 each game. And then for him to go down like that, it's really disappointing because he was really making that wing role his own, with Langdon obviously on the other wing. But Melbourne, it's got, as much as I respect Dylan, what you have to say, it's none other than 5am St Kilda Beach. It can't be anything below that. Whereas Gold Coast are excellent, and they are the real deal. Look out! They're quick, they're hungry, they're tough, and they're ready to go. I think we move over to the next game, St Kilda Richmond. Now I actually don't want to touch on this game very much because there's not much to talk about. We've obviously St Kilda winning by 82 points. Not much really to talk about. St Kilda can go in excellent just for that performance. And Richmond, 5am St Kilda Beach. What we will talk about was Jack Sinclair was everywhere. Absolutely dominant performance by Sinclair. First 40 disposal. game in his career and first 40 disposal game this season. 40, going at 85% efficiency as well. 7 marks, 8 intercepts, 8 rebound 50s, 6 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 10 score involvements, and 689 metres gained. McRae's also started at his new club very well. He had 31, 18 contested, 9 clearances, 6 tackles, and 12 score involvements. Now, the one we will talk about is Ryan Mansell, suspended for 3 weeks for pushing young player Liam O'Connell into the contest, trying to get his body position, obviously, so he can be there for the crumb, but he's pushed him into the contest, collided, concussed. Ryan Mansell's been off for 3 weeks because it's just been happening consistently. Now, I like the way the AFL has stamped it up, but I don't know if the 3 week was the right way to go about it. Yes, he was pushing him in to free himself up for when the drop of the ball comes down to come to him. But I don't think he was going, here, cop this, and chucking him in and going, cop this, knocked out, bang. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just that simple. So I would have been okay with maybe 2 weeks at a maximum, but I just think 3 weeks is a bit extreme in my personal opinion. And Saints debutant, I thought Toby Travaglia impressed on debut with 18 disposals, so he's one to keep an eye on. As we move over to Saturday night, and what a game this was in very, very difficult conditions. Interesting conditions, I should say. Very windy. Hawthorn v GWS. Hawthorn get the job done. 10-6-76 defeating 9-10-64. Gunston with the multiple goal kicker for the Hawks with 2. Hogan on his return game picked up where he left off in 2024 in his Coleman Medal winning season, kicking 4 goals. Bedford and Toby Green also kicked 2. Leading the way, and one to really look out for in the years to come. In just his second season, Cam Mackenzie has started this season on fire. 30 disposals, 5 clearances, 5 tackles, and 8 score involvement. Finn McGuinness was really good with 25 disposals, 9 score involvements. Day had 24, and just in that 10-minute patch in the second quarter, I believe it was, just dominant in that 10-minute period. 24, 17 contested, a goal, 5 clearances, 10 score onwards. Whitfield for the Giants is always off halfback at 34, 7 marks, and 666 metres gain. Tom Green back to his accumulated self, and I hate to do it because I love Tom Green, but 31, but just 5 clearances. Needs to find a way to impact a game more than that. But what you notice from him, he's very clean with the ball, picking up the ball, but just needs to find a way to impact the scoreboard a bit more. Just impact the game. Getting more than 5 clearances is just not enough from 31 touches. Ash also had 29, 9 marks, 8 rebound 50s, and 750 metres gain. It was very windy down at Tassie. We saw the goalpost fly, waving back and forth, and Giants came out and kicked the opening 5 goals in the first quarter, and you thought, wowee, are the Giants here? But then we found out it was just that end. As all of them returned with 6 of their own in the second term, we just went, geez, we might have a shootout on here. Well, it did slow down a bit. It did slow down a bit as there was only another 8 goals kicked for the next game. But it was a great start. I thought Nick Watson, showing just the type of former guest, obviously, shout out Nick Watson, the Wizard, showing the impactful play that he can be in the coming years, and he's really coming into his own second season, pushing higher up the ground. I love seeing him get up the ground. He had 1 goal to go along with 21 disposals. I believe that's his highest he's ever had. 5 tackles and 9 score elements. Just his elite speed and his pressure he provides around the ball, I think is really crucial for the Hawks. So I'm loving seeing him get up the ground, get up high at the ground, but then he gets back with real speed. So it's really good to see. Hawks, excellent again, and Giants can go... It can't be excellent because they lost, but they are contenders, and I'm going to put it at the top of contenders. Now, the other Saturday night. Now, here we go. Why have we got 2 games on a Saturday night when you've rescheduled the game? Put it on a Sunday. I was sick and tired of seeing Sunday, 2 games, and I had to wait till 3:20 to watch the first game. 3:20. Oh, I was not a happy camper. 3:20. AFL I get it, it's for the TV rights. But be smart about it. Leave the one game, the blockbuster game, first versus second, Hawthorn v GWS, possibly a preview of the grand final match or a prelim match at least. Two teams that will go deep in the finals. Leave that as a standalone game and play the other game on a Sunday. It is not hard. I've just knocked the camera around because I'm getting so worked up. I'm getting so worked up. So I'm just going to quickly check that the camera is still in okay, viewing. Yeah, no, so we're all good. But yeah, I was just absolutely fuming with how they did that. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit because I can see it going in the red column on my Streamlabs. So just bear with me. I'm just going to go back into full screen here. So back into full. So yeah, I was absolutely fuming with that. Brisbane have a knack of starting off slow but then coming home strong by the looks of it. And why wouldn't they be premiership favourites for coming back to back? Them and the Hawks are the two teams, and throwing the Giants in there as well, I think. But they end up defeating Geelong 10-70 to 9-7-61. A very, very wet first half it was. Only multiple goalkeepers of the game was Dangerfield with 2. Will Ashcroft was enormous, 33 a goal, 5 clearances and 8 score involvements. McCluggage was best of field, I believe, for the Brisbane Lions with 30. 18 contested. You don't see that much from McCluggage. 7 clearances, 8 tackles and 7 inside 50s. So I just fiddle around here. 8 inside 50s. My phone just closed with all my notes. And Zorko 28, 1 goal, 7 marks, 9 intercepts, 8 rebound 50s, 5 inside 50s, 826 metres gained. Jeezy just made that half-back line his own since last season, going there last season. Dunkley was also enormous with 26, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, and 555 metres gained. A player I think can go very much underappreciated with the type of role he plays. For the Geelong, they had Hones leading the way with 29, a goal, 9 marks, 8 round 50s, 620 metres gained. Bailey Smith had 25, 5 clearances, 10 tackles, and 540 metres gained. Wet weather footy, as we mentioned, and the Cats looked to have the game in their control in the second quarter with 4 goals in just 12 minutes, but then just fell away and didn't really look like impacting the game whatsoever after that, even though it was only a 9-point 9-point defeat. Brisbane looked to have the game very much in their own hands as the game went on more from that point forward. Brisbane, as I said, dominated the second half. 39 inside 50s to 14. That's an absolute domination. Geelong are probably lucky that they only lost by 9 points in the end with reading 39 inside 50s to 14. Why did Max Holmes play half-back is what I want to ask. I thought he was becoming one of the premium midfielders, especially, well, at least alongside Bailey Smith, the number 1 and 2 midfielders for the Geelong Cats. And now they put him at half-back. He played really well. I get it, but I'm just confused why you would put Max Holmes at halfback when he started the season off really well, especially in the second half of last season as a midfielder. So if any Geelong fans can let me know why that is, I would love to debate it and find out why you think that would have been. Bruce Rowell, the super sub, with his first touch, took 2 bounces and delivered the ball to Logan Morris, who setting up a goal. Then his second touch launched a big bomb from outside 50 in the wet with a heavy ball. He's a cult figure down there, Bruce. Whenever he gets the ball, you hear him go, Bruce, and shout. So it was good to see him there. Tom Atkins was sent to Lachie Neale, and the battle was pretty even in the end. Neale finished with 20 disposals and 6 tackles. Didn't have a massive impact on the game, while Tom Atkins had 14 disposals, 14 tackles, and 7 clearances. But then it was the Lions midfielder who got on top the longer the night went on. And injuries, Kyle Lohman in the return has done, by the looks of it, an ankle. So we're still waiting to see a bit more confirmation on just how serious that is. As we go over to here, so Brisbane, I'm not putting that performance in excellent. I'm just putting contenders, and Geelong can still go decent because they only lost by 9 points. And the fact that they held off the 39 inside 50s to 14 in the second half to only lose by 9 points, I'll give them decent, but they're very lucky not to be disappointing. Next game, they are the real deal. Straight into excellent. Adelaide are the real deal. Hear me. Adelaide Crows are the real deal. So exciting to watch. Beating North Melbourne by 36 points. 17-12, 114 at the Adelaide Oval to 12-6, 78. Walker kicked 4. Thilthorpe kicked 3. Fogarty, Keys, Curtin and Draper all kicked 2. For North Melbourne, we mentioned how good Nick Larkin is and what it possibly would look like if he was in another team. He kicked 4, Constantly kicked 2, Curtis also kicked 2. Laird in his 250th, playing more at half-back now, which has really opened up their midfield. I think Adelaide Crows allowing Rankin to go in there and show some spark and speed. But Laird still contributing off the half-back line. He is an All-Australian off the half-back. 32, 81% efficiency, 7 marks and 12 intercepts. Rankin was enormous. Didn't hit the scoreboard though, but still 30 clearances, 30 disposals, 19 of them contested, 8 clearances, 5 tackles, 7 scorers, 541 metres gained. So now we can get used to seeing Rankin purely as a midfield forward rather than a forward who just goes in the midfield every now and then, which is really exciting to see. Saligo continues his form with 28, 1 goal, 6 clearances, 5 tackles, and 8 score enrollments. Caleb Daniel was 33. That wasn't that impactful. Simpkin was good, 31, a goal, 9 clearances, 8 inside 50s, 7 score enrollments, and 680 metres gained. And I don't know what's happened to Harry Sheasel. They had to put him to half-back in the second half, but he has started this in the first few games reasonably slow, 26, so much so I had to trade him out of my Supercoach team for Jack Sinclair. 26 at 85% efficiency and 5 tackles. Adelaide is seriously good. Let's not sleep on that. They are seriously good. With their tall forwards in Fogarty and Thilthorpe, and then Walker playing that third string, getting on the end, kicking 4 goals himself is absolutely allowing Walker to get up the ground is something that could really work because he's such a beautiful field kick. And then chucking Ben Keys around there, chucking Josh Rochelle, obviously seeing how he gets up from after being subbed off with sore ribs, but chucking Josh Rochelle in there, rank him when he's down there. Saligo's consistently hitting the scoreboard. So it's a really exciting. And then down back, the likes of Josh Worrell is really emerging. Max Michelini still to come. Mark Keane has really come on since coming back from Ireland. And they've still got, what's his name? Nick Murray to come back. And then obviously mentioned Rory Laird, Wayne Miller. Just those type of players. They're just so exciting to watch. North trailed by just 9 points midway through the third, but the Crows kicked 5 in the next 6. So I think that's the sign of a really good team, knowing when, okay, enough's enough, let's put the foot on the throat now and go, and that's exactly what they did. But it's also a credit to North, because we can go to games now and say, hey, North are going to be competitive today. Most games we've seen so far this season, they have been competitive, which is really good to see. As mentioned, was Rory Laird's 250th, and he's had a really good career. 3 times BNF winner for the Crows. And he's also a 2-time All-Australian defender. New recruit James Peatley played his best game for the club so far. Impactful through the midfield. He had 23 disposals, 6 clearances, 3 goal assists, and 9 score enrollments. And as I mentioned, Josh Rochelle suffered a knee to the ribs from big ruckman Tristan Cherry, so that's never going to tickle. In a marking contest and was subbed off at quarter time. So there's that. And North Melbourne, I'm going to put him in decent because they only trailed by 9 points midway through the third. So I'll give him decent. Then we go over to the Derby. West Coast v Fremantle, or the Derby, sorry. Derby. And it was West Coast, Fremantle, who got the job done. 10-8-68 to 15-16, 106. Archer Reid, I'm really liking the look of for the West Coast Eagles, though, playing forward in a bit of ruck. He kicked the only multiple goal kick for them, kicked 2. Amos kicked 4. Tracy kicked 3. Debutant Dudley kicked 2. As for disposals, Marek is really looking nice off that half-back line since making that move down there. Hearing from Will Schofield and Adam Simpson, he's always been a beautiful user of the ball, so they're pushing. They've obviously put him down a half-back after being number 1 pick in the mid-season draft a couple of years ago. Put him back to playing as a forward, put him back to half-back to utilise his beautiful ball use. And he started off really well. He had 28 disposals, 8 marks, and 6 intercepts. Sarong, who equals the record, winning his 4th Glendenning Allen medal. This is also his 3rd from the last 5 derbies, which is just a phenomenal status. He had 34, 35 and 10 clearances. Brayshaw was not far behind, in my opinion, with 29, 6 clearances, 7 tackles, 9 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 11 score enrollments, and 696 metres gained. Isaiah Dudley had a derby debut to remember, kicking 2 goals in the opening quarter and looked lively with his 10 disposals and 6 score enrollments. As a Western Australian, this is the type of game you'd love to debut in, and he's lived up to the moment. He looked, I saw him on the screen, I'm like, who's that player? So I had to quickly search him up, go on the AFL app, look at, go, who's number 43? And had to have a look, or 41. It was one of them. I think it's 43. But I had to have a look, and I'm like, oh, he's actually playing all right. So it's good they've got someone else there to show some bit of spark in the forward line. This was an interesting one. I know he played a bit of it in his bottom age year in the Talent League. But Harley Reid moving to the halfback, I don't know about that. And then he had his outburst with Caleb Sarong. I think it's time to play Harley Reid as a forward. Play him a bit deeper as a forward. His best moment in the game came at when he took a screamer and took a big mark. And I think it's time to play him as a forward because it's clear he's just not fit enough. And then put him in the centre bounces for certain impact moments. Because you know he's going to get that clearance. We almost saw him do it after that little scrap with Caleb Sarong, where he burst out of centre, got the clearance, and then a couple of bounces, then just missed. But I think his fitness is not quite up to it, but he has really good hands. So I think McQualter should play him forward, and then chuck him in the midfield for certain impact moments in games. So a couple times a quarter, or when a game needs a bit of spark, go Harley, go. You're let off the leash. Go in, be that bull, get that run, and get the ball moving for us. Break a few tackles, but only having 15 disposals, the amount of times he's spending in the midfield is just not enough. McGovern also went down with a groin. Now, Fremantle, I'm going to say contenders. I'm not going to quite put them in excellent, and I'm going to put West Coast in disappointing. It wasn't really a thrashing. So just quickly, my rankings for this week. Excellent category. We have the Gold Coast Suns, St Kilda, Hawthorn, and the Adelaide Crows. Contenders, we have GWS, Essendon, Western Bulldogs, Brisbane, and Freo. Decent, we have Geelong and North Melbourne. Disappointing, we have Port Adelaide, Carlton, and West Coast. And 5am, St Kilda Beach, we have the Melbourne Football Club and Richmond. Now we quickly go over to our Supercoach competition. As I just quickly get this one up here. Looking at my score. So game day. So we've had a new high score for the round. As I mentioned, the highest scoring round in the Up the Gut competition will be winning $50. And it's going to a fellow co-worker of mine leading the way so far, Joel with Pint of Guinea. He scored 2011. He was in the top 10, I think a top 10% of Supercoach players for this round. So it's good for him. We'll go over the matches. So Riley's Wizard, 1,900, defeated Breeze's Sinclair, 1,887, so only getting the job done by 13 points then. Well done to Riley. Connor's Dad Kisser, 1,957, defeated Will's Hawk Tours, 1,919. My Tricky, 1,920, defeated my fellow co-commentator who I'll be seeing this weekend where we go to Hillsville to call our first match for the Outer East. Aiden, Max Zerrett, 1,920, defeating 1,891. Dylan Churches of Parish, 1,833, was defeated by Mavs team, 1,944. Chris's Ginnivan and Tonic, 1,859, was defeated by Newcomb 23's, 1,939. Jamie's Bailey Sniff, 1,864, defeated Paul's Dallas Domination, 1,720. Joel's Pint of Guinea, 2011, defeated Zach's In It to Win It, 1,845. As we go over to the leagues, we'll quickly go over the top 8. So the leaderboard, as we speak, first place, we have got Connor's Dad Kisser. Second place, Jamie with Bailey Sniff. Third place, Riley with Wizard. Fourth place, Luke with Newcomb 23. Fifth place, Joel with Pint of Guinea. Sixth place, Zach with In It to Win It. Seventh place, myself. We'll just go for the whole lot. Eighth place, Aiden with Max Zerrett. Ninth place, Dylan with Churches of Parish. 10th, Maverick with Mavs team. 11th, Brees with Sinclair. 12th, Will with Hoctor. 13th, Paul with Dell's Domination. And 14th, Chris with Goodwin and Tonic. So some trades will be going on this week. I've already made, as I mentioned, one trade already. One trade already. So Sinclair for Sheaves, just not doing it for me. Now let's go over to the tipping before we sign off. As we make our way over to the tipping now. If it wants to load, I myself had a shocker, and I'm having a shocker around. I got 5 out of 8. I'm sitting 14, so we'll go over the top 8 as we speak. Corey holds his spot in first place by 1. Second place, it's my mother with Wendy D in second. Will's Fight Your Mate's Dad in third. Chris is in 4. Zach is in 5th. My dad, Glenn, is in 6th. JD Hawks fan 15, which is Will's dad, is in 7th. And Dos Miller is in 8th. Now let's quickly go over. I may as well just do my tips now. No, I'm not going to do my tips now. I'm going to say who I'm going to go with now, but it might change like later, but I doubt it will. Thursday night, Collingwood, Carlton. Going to be backing my boys in Collingwood. Carlton 0-3. They need to respond somehow, but lads, it's not going to be this week, all right, so just calm down. Friday night, we got Geelong v Melbourne, GMHBA Stadium. I think Geelong will pump them quite comfortably there. Gold Coast v Adelaide at People First. I like both the way these teams are playing, but I'm never going to tip against Gold Coast over at People First. 4:15, we got Richmond v Brisbane at the MCG. I'm going to be backing in the Lions. 7:35, standalone game on Saturday night at Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne v Sydney. I'm going to go with the Swans. Sunday at NG Stadium, 1:10 p.m, the Giants v the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Giants. 3:20, we Port Adelaide v St Kilda. I'm going to go with, at Adelaide Oval, I'm going to go with Port. In the last game, Fremantle v Western Bulldogs at Optus at 5:10 p.m. Going to go with the Dockers there at Optus, and Essendon Hawthorn with the bye. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 143 of the Up the Guts podcast. I've also put out my Team of the Week, Round 3 Team of the Week, on the Instagram and Facebook page, so make sure to go have a look at that. Leave in the comments what I got right, who was stiff to miss out. And thank you guys for listening. Make sure to, if you're listening to this via Spotify or Apple, make sure to hit the like button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And make sure to leave a 5-star rating in the review section, because that does help get the show more out there, more people to be able to listen in, to tune in, so we can grow this audience. If you're listening to this via YouTube, make sure to like and comment on this video. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload, and hit that bloody subscribe button so we're on our way to 200, 5 off. So let's try and get to 200 by the end of this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.